Today, June 18th, 1812, the War of 1812 begins. The day after a Senate followed the House of Representatives in voting to declare war against Great Britain, President James Madison signs the Declaration into law and the War of 1812 begins. The American War Declaration, opposed by a sizable minority of Congress, has been called in response to the British economic blockade of France, the introduction of American seamen into the British Royal Navy against their will, and the British support of Indian tribes along the Great Lakes frontier. A faction of Congress known as the War Hawks had been advocating war with Britain for several years and had not hidden their hopes that a U.S. invasion of Canada might result in significant territorial land gains for the United States. In the months after President Madison proclaimed the state of war to be in effect, American forces launched a three-point invasion of Canada, all of which were decisively unsuccessful. In 1814, with Napoleon Bonaparte's French Empire collapsing, the British were able to allocate more military resources to the American war, and Washington, D.C. fell to the British in August. In Washington, British troops burned the White House, the Capitol, and other buildings in retaliation for their earlier burning of government buildings in Canada by U.S. soldiers. In September, the tide of the war turned when Thomas Macduff's American naval force won a decisive victory at the Battle of Plattsburgh Bay and Lake Champlain. The invading British Army was forced to retreat back into Canada. The American victory on Lake Champlain led to the conclusion of the U.S.-British peace negotiations in Belgium, and on December 24, 1814, the Treaty of Ghent was signed, formally ending the War of 1812. By the terms of the agreement, all conquered territory was to be returned, and a commission would be established to settle the boundary of the United States and Canada. Also on this day in history, in 1815, Napoleon defeated at Waterloo. In 1983, Sally Ride became the first American woman into space. In 1940, Hitler and Mussolini meet in Munich. In 1960, Arnold Palmer wins the U.S. Open. In 1798, President John Adams oversees passage of first of Alien and Sedition Acts. In 1967, the Monterey Pop Festival reaches its climax. In 1972, a jet crashes after takeoff at Heathrow, killing 118 people. 1984, a radio host is gunned down for his controversial views. In 1979, President Jimmy Carter and Leon Brezhnev signed the SALT II nuclear treaty. And in 1778, the British abandoned Philadelphia. This has been This, That, and the Other. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. Godspeed, fair winds and following seas. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.